being on a farm, there was all sorts of ways to, raise some cash. I'd done a bit in Charlottetown, like collected bottles and whatnot on the side of the road. But once I got to the farm, I realized I could, grow, cucumbers, carrots. I did a bunch of stuff like that, and then raised chickens and also dug clams. And it's easy when you're 7. You can sell almost anything as a 7-year-old, right? And I actually walked the streets of Charlottetown for my clams and went to different restaurants and knocked on the door and asked if they'd want to buy clams. My dad would take them in the morning when he went to work. It taught me a lot about managing a business and actually about hard work. Eventually, I knew I needed to leave the government, and I'd gone as far as I could go, really, and I didn't see the career changing too much as I continued to progress. I'd previously met a gentleman named Neil Kemp, the co-founder of AKA, with me, and that would have been about 2 or 3 years ago, and we'd sat in Halifax and over a bottle of wine kind of talked about how neat it would be to run the perfect business, or the business that we thought would be perfect, and what we could do. And we had no idea that we would be in business together, but 2-3 years later we found ourselves at a crossroads, both of us in our lives, that we were able to take that first step, and we did it. We'd actually gone out and thought that the best thing to do would be to get some sort of security in our business that was some sort of cash flow early on. We both saved up some money, so we invested in a franchise that was a technology franchise early on, and it turned out to be not a good franchise. They were basically taking people to the cleaners, and we'd saved up about $80,000 between the two of us to invest, and that was pretty much gone within the first 4 months. So we realized about 4 months in, because this was going to be the cushion while we developed our consulting business. And we realized within the first 4 months that it was cheaper for us just to shut down and not pay people. And it was pretty dire. So we went home one weekend, and it was kind of one of these make or break weekends. We had to decide whether to throw in the towel or whether whether there was something else we could do. So I wrote up a proposal for a vessel in the Coast Guard that I knew needed some help, and that was our first big job, was a job in the Coast Guard. I have to say, coming back to PEI has been probably the best part of running the business so far. Is just being able to engage back at home. I spent almost 15 years on the road, and enjoying the successes of the business and being very really getting a lot of satisfaction out of that. But being able to actually share that with people that I know and with the community that I grew up in, that's really, that means a lot to me. We can really be a world leader in a bunch of areas if we put our minds to it, I think. And those areas are energy, which might seem counterintuitive. Just because we don't have any energy, we should be focused on, any of the traditional sorts of sources of energy. We should be focused on how we build renewable energy solutions, and then on farming, and the organic side of farming, I think, is a huge potential in PEI. And if we build solutions that are cutting edge, that other people can use as models, I think that's something we can really sell in the future. But it's got to be a long-term sort of vision. You can't just be doing it for the sake of business. It's not really business that is the driver. It's got to be what you want to build or what you want to do that has to be the driver, and you got to be passionate about that, and you got to be prepared to be running very lean with nothing for a long time, and to be at the point where you feel like you could throw in the towel several times. I mean, it's a long process, and there's no easy street that I've found anyway as far as making it happen. It's a long way from growing cucumbers, but it's hard to it's hard to look back on it and really believe it's all the same story,